I'd like you to act out the opening scene of the classic film All Together Passionately.
Sorry, am I on the wrong show?
Yes. I'm happy to do it as long as I can go on top.
I think you should speak to Josh.
Yeah. As long as you've got a cushion, I'm fine with it.
Anybody know All Together Passionately? Great
It's
film.
not ringing any bells.
It is the Italian name, I will tell you, for a very famous film. Tutti insieme appassionatamente.
I'll be honest, if anything, I'm further away from the answer.
Yeah.
OK, if I do this...
Passion of the Christ.
No, and I'm twirling around on top of an Austrian mountain.
Sound of Music.
Sound of Music. It is the Italian name.
Is there an Italian phrase for the sound of music?
Apparently that's what they called it, All Together Passionately.
Oh, no. That sounds like a film you wouldn't watch on a train.
Do you watch a lot of films on trains?
Lots of them. You have
Oh,
to
yes,
be...
because you don't fly, so you spend your life on a train.
So you have to be very careful sometimes if you have a film with a bit of...
Naughtiness.
Naughtiness.
Ooh. Yeah.
You have to turn it to the window.
Does anybody here cry at movies on planes that you wouldn't normally cry at? Like Paul Blart, Mall Cop? I mean, floods. Not even the movies, sometimes it's a credit card ad. Like, oh, my God, she lost her credit. Oh, she got it back. Oh, thank God. So many emotions to handle in one commercial.
Well, here's the thing about The Sound of Music. It was so popular in South Korea when it was first released. One theatre owner in Seoul made the film shorter by cutting out all the musical numbers. He could show it more often.
Do you know, I've never seen it.
Oh, Josh!
Oh, really? Never?
You never see the... You are 16 going on 17.
Yeah, it's like that, but with a tune. And... I was once lucky enough to meet Julie Andrews. It's the only time in my entire life I've been completely speechless.
Because she wouldn't shut up.
She just kept asking me what my favourite things were. It's very annoying.
Do you like them tied up with string? I bet you do, girl. I bet you do. What's a deer? What's a female deer? Come on, leave me alone. Do you want to see the goat herd? It wasn't me singing. Maria! I'll be back with you. On Maria! Shut up, Julie. God.
I'll be honest, I understood none of that.
Hands up if you read 1984. Wow, that's pretty good. How many... Yeah. The fact is, research on several occasions show that at least a quarter of the people who claim to have read 1984 are lying. So I'm afraid we have to take points away from you. Yeah. Can you put your hand up if you said you'd read it, but actually secretly you haven't?
Oh, come on.
Come on.
You look very secret.
The honest man in the back has earned some more the audience. I have to confess here, I studied English at university. I haven't read it.
I should hope not. What kind of English degree would include something written as late as 1940?
Well, that's true. Yes, we read things written in 1370. But I kind of felt I didn't need to, which is an appalling thing to say.
Oh, it's terribly good, Stephen.
Well, I kind of... I
know
know
all the TV shows named after it.
Two, at least. Room 101 and Big Brother.
Oh, that's Room mine.
Oh, sorry. I know how it opens. It opens with the clock striking 13. I know the character's
Really
called
good,
Winston.
and they made a film of it with John Hurt.
Yeah.
It's hard to bother, isn't it, when there's a great film of a book? I was the same with A Muppet Christmas Carol. I feel it's been done. I know what the turkey does in the story. What the read is.
It is a masterpiece of a film, it has to be said.
I lie a lot to impress people. And I'll be honest now, I've never read The Hungry Caterpillar. It gets so close to the end, and I get too emotional. I'm like, he's gonna die. He's overfed himself. I can't do it, and I stop. So I just pretend that I've read it.
No, he becomes a butterfly.
Is he carries himself?
Spoiler!
So sorry, that was wrong of me. Oh. I knew someone who gave away the end of Psycho. It's nearly as serious as that.
Oh, my God.
Some books that you don't need to bother reading, like good books that you don't need to bother reading. Like, it's controversial to say it, but I didn't think Harry Potter is worth reading. It is so expertly narrated on the audiobook.
You're so
No, but I do, after I listen to the Harry Potter books, with you narrating them, everything in my life is narrated by Stephen Fry. All my thoughts, my internal monologue is now Stephen Fry's voice. Even the dirty thoughts are Stephen's voice. No, because it makes it acceptable. I had a sexual thought the other day, I put my hand in the air, I had a sexual thought about Camilla Parker Bowles. It didn't seem weird, because Stephen was saying it to me.
By some terrible, terrible concatenation of circumstances, both my co-pilot and I on this flight were suddenly taken ill. How would you land this plane?
Can't they just land themselves on an instrument's landing?
Can't you? I'd stop reading the Kindle on the steering wheel. And
That would be a wise start, yes.
Don't you radio... There's the co-pilot slumped, normally.
Yes.
In these situations.
Yeah, someone talks you in.
And somebody talks you in?
That's what happens in the movies, definitely, isn't
Yes.
it?
Like Robert Duvall probably would be good.
Yes.
That's who I'd ring.
Or Lloyd Bridges, in the case of Airplane, the movie.
Perfect choice.
Yeah.
Yes.
presumably there are legal problems with someone talking you down, though, because you could then subsequently sue if it was interpreted by your relatives that you were given bad advice. So probably these days the air traffic controller would refuse to give advice and would say, "I'm sorry, we're not covered for my saying."
That's right. You'd have to sign a waiver and sort of text it to them, and then they would... insurance would cover you to be talked down.
It is a minefield. Extraordinarily and happily, it has never occurred in commercial airline travel history that someone has been, as it were, oh, gosh, can anyone fly this plane because the pilot and co-pilot are ill or dead. It's never actually happened, but it would be fraught with difficulty. They have tried various simulations. For example, those with American civil private pilot licenses in America who can fly light planes were invited onto simulators of big jets. Yeah. And one of them couldn't even operate the seat that moved him towards the control. Another one turned the radio off. Another one turned off the autopilot and instantly crashed the plane. So the fact is, it's incredibly difficult.
Stephen, am I allowed to say that in your uniform how incredibly unlike a pilot you look?
So what do I look like instead? Be brutal, be frank.
No, I think you'd be the chap who calls himself the bursar. Who comes round, he's got a big leather wallet and takes money for duty-free.
Yeah, calls himself the bursar.
Yeah.
Yes.
He calls himself the bursar?
Yes, I think he does, yeah.
Or the purser?
The purser.
The bursar is like the one that does the money for a...
Public school.
Yeah.
Yes, yeah.
What a very... What kind of planes are you flying on?
Yeah.
Yes, the bursar will be collecting money for the end of term jamboree.
Here on a Charterhouse Air.
Yeah.
The bursar with the trolley, and then with the drinks, the groundsman.
Anyway, the fact is it's fraught with difficulty. The first problem you would have is simply getting into the cockpit, because since 9/11, of course, cockpits are locked. And if the pilot and the co-pilot were truly too ill to be able to fly, they may well be too ill even to let you in to the cockpit. But
do they have a secret knock? When they go and give them their lunch, though, surely they have to get in.
Yes.
So they must have a coded knock or something, like, it's me. I've got your lunch. Something like that. And they go, oh, must be the lunch.
It must be, it must be Ginger with the lunch. The lunch is. Now, why do I say lunch is?
Because there's more than one.
But why is there more? You are accruing points at a fantastic rate.
God, I tell you what.
Yes, there are more than one. But why would there be more than one lunch? Why would
They have to eat different meals.
Yes, the pilot and the co-pilot must eat different meals.
Oh, in case one of them gets botulism.
Exactly, so that if one is by accident poisoned or whatever. And in the case of extra long-haul flights, there are 3 pilots, not 2.
So you can't get into the cockpit. It's very, very dangerous. Never been done.
Yeah,
so...
and if it was on autopilot, you'd be able, obviously, to fly level and it would continue. But once you got into the landing situation, yes, the kind of film scenario would take over, whereby you would be told how to operate the flaps and at what speed. But there are so many variables in terms of glide path and vertical and horizontal axes and so on. This really is extraordinarily difficult. There is an auto-land system.
There's no way of flying it remotely, then, from the ground? Like with just somebody with a Wii or something, you know. I don't know.
Maybe one day.
Someone comes in the room.
What?
It's a horrifying thought, but fortunately, as I say, it never has yet happened in major commercial air travel. What conclusion did the great biologist Stephen Jay Gould draw from a lifetime study of fish?
Oh.
Yeah.
They haven't got any legs.
Is that his lifetime study?
Yeah. Well, no, it wasn't his lifetime study of a fish.
Yeah. After a while, they smell.
Yeah. He's a bit thick, and he just stared at me, and they haven't got any legs.
Starfish don't have brains. It's the kind of Louis Walsh of the aquatic world. They really don't have brains, they're starfish.
And they're not really fish, are they, starfish, to be honest?
Well, the word fish is in there, which kind of qualifies them, I think.
Well, is a starfish a fish? Is a jellyfish a fish?
Well, yeah,
cuttlefish a fish?
Yes,
but
the starfish...
crayfish is a lobster.
There's a division, isn't there, in the world, whether it should be down to sort of experts in biology, whether things are fish, or whether it should be down to menus.
Yes.
I think, for example, a crayfish comes under fish in a menu.
He looks like he's reading the sell-by date on that.
He does. Stephen Jay Gould was very great. He's dead now. He's very great. He won a Nobel Prize. He was a paleontologist and an extraordinary biologist. And he came to a conclusion which is...
They can feel no love.
No, that there is no such thing as a fish. A fish has no biological meaning. There is just...
Well, I'm absolutely right. Go with menus.
On a menu it does. But in a menu, a fish is not the same as shellfish or seafood, is it?
It often comes in the same bit and separate from pudding.
Things that live in the sea.
Fish and a pudding are different.
How can something not be something? Something can't be not something, can it? But if you've created a something, then something has to be that something, otherwise you haven't created a something. So it has to be a fish if there is the idea of a fish in the first place.
I swear there's a philosophy somewhere.
Slow down, Plato.
There's some sort of ontological argument going there, and of course to us that we use the word fish. But biologically speaking, a salmon is more related to, say, a camel than it is to a hagfish. Like, there are lots of things that fly, like a bumblebee flies, a vulture flies, and there are flying lizards. They're not all birds.
No.
But we call things that swim in the sea fish, and actually, biologically, evolutionarily, they have absolutely nothing to do with each other at all. So, after a lifetime study of fish, biologist Stephen Jay Gould concluded that there's no such thing as a fish. What would you call someone who never laughs?
That bloke.
Yeah, right. He hasn't cracked a smile all evening, has he? No.
He might be dead. Nudge him.
Yeah.
Are we looking for a sort of phobia word?
Yeah, agelastic, meaning that they don't laugh. And there are people who don't have it, who, it seems, have no sense of humour.
can't laugh.
Well, who knows? I mean, there's a sort of epilepsy where you... a lot, which is an unusual affect.
Shock, that was shocking.
It's giving you a shock.
I've got an interesting sort of Greek-type word for something that I do sometimes where I can't help the sort of urge to do an impression of somebody. And sometimes if somebody's got like a limp or a bit of a funny walk, I kind of want to go along with it, which is a terrible thing to do. And apparently, when you do this thing of wanting to take on somebody's limp in an inappropriate way, it's called echopraxia.
Oh,
and if you do it with words, we're trying to imitate a person sort of verbally, it's echolalia. That's great,
very
isn't it?
Points.
Yes.
Points.
Isn't it great?
Brilliant.
It's also, I think, if I'm not mistaken, it's called taking the piss as well.
Yeah, but it almost defines being a human, doesn't it, laughter? Because animals don't laugh.
Yeah.
They don't have that capacity to sort of put the two things together.
It's very, very social as well. It's a very social sort of...
Yes.
People tend not to laugh on their own. Like, even watching a show as hilarious as this.
Yes.
At home on your own, you won't laugh in the same way as the studio audience. It's why people often think it's sort of canned laughter rather than you are genuinely laughing at bits.
Yeah.
Well, they wouldn't if there were anybody here. But
Because there's that... So it's a very social thing. You're sort of showing someone else that you get the thing and you understand.
Absolutely, it is a communal thing. There are people in history who are said to be age-elastic, including Isaac Newton, who was supposed to have laughed once in his life. When someone asked him what
fell on his head.
No. Someone asked him what was the point of studying Euclid, and he burst out laughing at that.
Yeah, no, that is a good one, though.
That is a good one.
What is he like?
According to Marshal Zhukov, Stalin, next door, he didn't laugh. And
I'm
next
amazed
to
at that. He seems such a chirpy cat.
And then you probably
moustache, he could be
spotted
Chucky.
Jonathan Swift and William Ewart Gladstone.
Jonathan Swift is a very funny writer, so...
I know,
Lots
it's
of
bizarre
comedians don't laugh.
Spinoza.
You know, lots of comedians are quite miserable in real life, aren't they? Not us, obviously.
The bloke on the left and the bloke on the middle are the same.
On the left, he's been on a diet. Or
That's an advert for the Chin Gym.
Yeah.
The one on the left is Isaac Newton.
That's Newton, right.
And the one in the middle is Jonathan Swift. Trollope, on the other hand, Anthony Trollope...
Couldn't stop laughing.
Yeah, he died giggling, apparently. He laughed a lot.
Didn't he work in the post office? That's probably what
He did.
He went postal. He was...
Yeah, he invented the postbox.
Yes.
And lived to regret it, actually.
Because once he was in, he couldn't get out.
He was sorry for a very odd reason, actually. He was very old-fashioned about what women should and shouldn't do. And what he hadn't predicted was what the post office would suddenly allow women to communicate with anyone freely. Because before the postbox, they would have to go to their father or a servant who would put the stamp on, and it would be taken. And suddenly they were able to send their own letters and have relationships without their parents' consent. And he resented this.
What has he done?
It is a law of unintended consequences, exactly. Bizarre thought. Anyway, quite irrelevant. There are theories of laughter. There's the superiority theory, which is the sudden glory we feel when we see someone suffer.
It's very simple, the superiority theory, but a lot of people don't understand it.
Very good. There's the incongruity theory. It arises when the decorous and logical abruptly dissolves into the low and absurd. We wouldn't, farting well, want that. For example. Not that I would say that. The relief theory, which is Freud. The naughtiness of the joke liberates the laughter from inhibitions about forbidden thoughts and feelings.
That's watching Jackass for me, I do.
Yeah. You've written a book about it. What was The Naked Jape?
The Naked Jape, I wrote a book with my friend Lucy about jokes. And the nature of jokes.
Did you come to a theory about...
No, I mean, they are all... You can analyse... There's all these different sort of theories from around the world, and they're all pretty much nonsense.
Yeah.
They all work in exactly the same way, though. All jokes are sort of two stories. So the first story makes you make an assumption, and then the second story makes you realise that the assumption was...
I like the one that the Englishman, a Scotsman and an Irishman go into a pub and the barman says, what is this, some kind of joke? Yes. A sort of a meta joke.
Yeah. When I told them I wanted to be a comedian, they laughed. Well, they're not laughing now.
That is...
It's Monkhouse.
Bob Monkhouse, yeah. That's a brilliant
But it's hard when you're writing about comedy to make it funny as well. Were you trying to be funny as you went along,
in the end, we just had to put a joke on every page, because some of it's a bit sort of more complicated. And there's a great quote about analysing jokes is like dissecting a frog. No one's that interested, and the frog dies.
Yes. Pulling up the roots of a plant to look how it works.
Yeah, and killing it as you do it, exactly. Anyway, agelasts are people who don't laugh at gags. What is the roundest thing in the universe? Yeah.
No, just saying.
Oh, no, Phil. Not at all.
You should see it. The roundest thing in the universe.
Yeah.
Ball bearings.
Ball bearings are quite round, but they...
swallowed a ball bearing.
The roundest... Dude. you mean smoothest, most...
Well, the most purely round, in other words. Because if you... Well...
The Earth is thingy, is it squashed? It's not round.
No, that's right, it's an oblate spheroid.
Oh, Nelly Furtado! He's got a word for everything.
Is it a liquid drop, a water drop?
They can get jolly round. They can be very round. Very nice. We're actually further out of space than Earth, beyond Earth. It's a cosmic phenomenon.
Is it a black hole?
It's that kind of a deal.
Oh, it's those space helmets, those big round helmets with the things on the top.
Is it the thing called the genius point? Is it the point at to which everything goes to, ultimately?
Not that. It's when a supernova has a gravitational collapse, it turns into something called a neutron star.
No.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, the neutron star.
They're really round.
That's not round!
No, that's not. That's a supernova, I think. That's a supernova. Going supernova.
Then show us the round thing!
He's very upset, aren't you?
Yes!
It only has a diameter of about 15 miles or so, and there isn't one near enough for you to be able to see it with the naked eye.
Have you ever noticed how we always have to take Stephen's word for it?
But what's interesting is that if I had a thimbleful of a neutron star, it would weigh more than a mountain.
Yeah, but you don't.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, imagine how confused the old woman darning your socks would be if you had a thimble full of it. She was just trying to fix a hole, and it was all space and time coming out of a thimble. That's no way to treat the elderly.
You're right.
So you put a thimble down and no one can pick it up?
No one at all.
And when you've got a good cleaning lady, you want to hang on to them. You don't want to mess them around. I'm leaving, Mr. D. Why? Well, because of all this space business with your thimbles. I don't like it.
It might have double the mass of the sun, but it's only 15 miles across, roughly. And the highest mountain on it weighs 5 millimetres, so it is superbly round. Because as opposed to the Earth, which, although the Earth is jolly round, apart from the flat bits at the top, the point about the Earth is it's actually jolly smooth compared to, say, a billiard ball.
Smoother than a ping-pong ball, isn't it?
Yes, now why is that a snooker ball...
I'm sorry, I did not know there would be a follow-up question.
Yeah.
Why is the Earth...
If you were to scale up a snooker ball to the size of the Earth, the mountains and trenches would be hugely greater than our highest mountains or deepest trenches, i.e. the little pits that you can see when you examine a snooker ball closely, if scaled up to the size of the Earth, would be gigantic. So the Earth, in that sense, is smoother than a billiard ball. Where are 1% of American adults?
Oh, I imagine we could find out, couldn't we? We could use Google Earth, because some of them are quite big. There's one. He's got his own postcode.
1% of the population, which is... What's the population? It's about
300 million, isn't it?
So you're talking about between 2.5 and 3 million, say?
Jail.
Yes. G for jail. English spelling of jail, of course, but it is G for jail.
Really? That many people? 3 million people are locked up?
Well, 2.3, which is 1 in every 99.1 adults.
All of those guys there are innocent as well, because they all were arrested for having switchblades, but they've all only got one arm.
Well spotted. Proportionally, Americans imprison more than twice as many as South Africans, more than 3 times as many as the Iranians, more than 6 times as many as the Chinese. No society in history has imprisoned more of its citizens than the United States of America.
We do pretty well, though, don't we? We sort of top the European League.
We're ahead of China, Turkey and India.
Yes.
Yeah, with 148 prisoners per 100,000.
It's the 3 strikes and they're out.
That's been really the problem, yeah.
I mean, a legal system based on baseball just seems bizarre.
Yes.
People don't seem to understand the law. It's all very complicated. What's simple? What do people like? Baseball. Right then. Here's the rule.
3 strikes and you're out, yeah.
Mental.
What it means is if the first 2 strikes, the first 2 crimes you're convicted of are serious enough, the third one, no matter how trivial, will get a life sentence, 25 years or more. So, for example, Leandro Andrade is serving 2 consecutive 25-year terms for shoplifting 9 videotapes.
He took 9?
Yes. Kevin Webber, 26 years for stealing 4 chocolate chip cookies. It's astonishing.
It's really stupid, isn't it? Because if you know you're on this sort of deal...
Yes.
Yeah.
Take 5.
Yes, yes.
That is
Do another murder. Do a bank job. There's no point...
There's no point doing anything trivial.
If
No,
you're
I know.
going to get caught.
It is a bit bonkers. But the racial numbers are a bit worrying. And the gender numbers, it's 1 in 30 men aged 20 to 34 is behind bars. But for black males, that's 1 in 9. 1 in 9. There are more 17-year-old black people in jail than in college in America. So 5% of the world are American, 25% of all prisoners
Isn't the real
are American.
controversy with this the business end of it?
Well, that's true. It's also, as you say, right, it is a business.
Because it's not just licence plate, they make loads of stuff.
Well, one of the things I should have said when talking about contraband is that you're not allowed to bring into America anything that's been made by forced labour or prisons. But in America, you can almost say, if you were so minded, that they've reinvented the slave trade. They produce, for example, 100% of all military helmets, ammunition belts, bulletproof vests, ID tags and other items in uniform, 93% of domestically produced paints, 36% of home appliances, 21% of office furniture, which allows the United States to compete with factories in Mexico because, of course, obviously the workers can't refuse to work for 25 cents an hour.
I'd very much like to say something hilarious, but something must be done.
It is.
We...
It feels
Question
astonishing.
timey this
Yes.
evening.
It is a bit amazing, isn't it?
Yeah. It's extraordinary.
Yeah.
It's slavery by the back door.
Exactly what it is.
Which is another video that I've got.
Who first cracked the Enigma code? Yes.
Was it the poles?
Top man! Absolutely right. You're a good soul. Yeah. There's a general feeling that we did all the work, but in fact it was a Pole in 1932, as early as that, who first cracked how an Enigma machine worked. But in the late 1930s, the Germans changed the way they worked, so that I think there was something like 364 billion possible settings each day to the daily code. Now, that's not something you could guess. But the first one to crack it in the beginning to see how it worked was a young Polish mathematician called Marian Rejewski. And if you ever go to Bletchley Park, and I do urge you to do so, there is a splendid statue to him, and...
Have they got a good shop there?
They have a very nice shop. They also have a museum of computing, which I know would excite you almost...
Oh, indeed.
Indeed, I can...
Already moist.
I mean, it is well established. The work on Enigma did do a great deal to hasten the end of the war. Eisenhower estimated that it shortened the war by 2 years, which is hundreds of thousands of lives. So it was an extraordinarily important thing that these boffins got together. But how do you think they were first brought together at Bletchley Park? What was the first move the government made to assemble the boffins?
Singles club.
It was almost that. It was a telegraph crossword competition. Especially fiendish telegraph crossword. And the winners were sent letters saying, you might be our kind of chap. But anyway, they then soon became aware that having people who knew that cart horse was an anagram of orchestra was not going to win them the war. They needed really great mathematical minds.
It's when the world changed, isn't it?
It's when the world changed.
It'll be fascinating conundrums
that
the Nazis will set us.
But,
we'll have to find clues and follow them. No, you just need a supercomputer.
But fortunately, there was a man ready for it. It just happened to be that history had thrown up a quite brilliant mathematician called Alan Turing, who was at Cambridge at the time. There he is. He's considered the father of computing, one of the truly great men of his time. And you may remember Gordon Brown making an impassioned but far too late apology on behalf of the British government for his terrible death. He was persecuted for his homosexuality and chemically castrated and then committed suicide by eating a poisoned apple. And there are many to this day who believe that Apple computers named their apple with the bite out of it in honour of Alan Turing, the father of computing. And I was in a position to ask one of the founders, Steve Jobs, and he said it isn't true, but God, we wish it were. It's just a coincidence, but they're very proud that people think it might be, because he was a simply extraordinary man. But the real fiendish thing was not Enigma, it was called Lorentz. And for Lorentz was used between German High Command and Hitler himself, basically. And Lorentz was unbelievably difficult. And for that, Turing and his team built what really was the world's first computer. It was called Colossus. And it was way ahead of its time. It was quite extraordinary.
It was all a complete sort of national secret until very recently, wasn't it? Or quite recently.
Absolutely. There is Bletchley Park. And it is open to the public. I'm a big advocate for it, so I make no apology for banging its drum. It's a great place.
It's an interesting choice that we took as a nation, though, you know, during the Second World War, which was an expensive experience for us and left us bankrupt. But out of it, we had basically invented the computer, and we decided to make it a secret.
Yes.
Rather than, in any sense, attempting to monetize it.
Actually, we gave the secret of Colossus to the CIA.
Oh, superb.
Yeah.
Oh, well.
I know.
That's an excellent move.
It was.
No one will be needing that.
But there's a great memo, because there are a lot of people in British government who thought, what are these people in faintly damp tweed with pipes and glasses doing, writing on bits of paper here? And there's quite a big budget. I mean, what are they doing? And Churchill had a look round, and the fellow explained to him what they were doing. And then there's a very famous memo in Churchill's hand that just says, give them what they want. It's fantastic, that, isn't it?
What can I just ask, and you may not be able to answer this, but what was the nature of the Enigma code? Was it mathematical or was
Yes. I mean, don't ask me to give you the precise details. I'm really no expert. But it was a purely physical, mechanical device, but it had so many different rotors that had so many different angles and positions that there were hundreds of billions of permutations. It was our job was to intercept or work out what the code word of the day was, and then we could translate the messages. It was all very odd. But they were very lazy. It relied on Germans making mistakes by using the names of their dogs and things. So a lot of intelligence was gathered about the people in naval intelligence in particular, about what their dogs, their girlfriends, their addresses and things like that, because it's a bit like passwords, you know.
I'm beginning to think that people will be able to hack into my John Lewis account now.
Not named after your
It's
dog,
ironic.
surely.
They invented a computer and finished the war early, but the cyber war being waged by China will be the death of all of us.
Yeah, there is some... You know, the worry about it is... I mean, I was speaking to a man at Los Alamos, which is where they developed the nuclear bomb, and obviously the science now goes in other directions. They said they had something like 1 million attacks an hour on their sort of cyber front-end security. And I said, well, hackers? And they said, no, nations. Well, let's be honest, one nation. And I was interviewing him on camera, and I said, would it rhyme with Biner? And he said it might well do. And I said, that's how many times they're battering on the doors of your security.
Well, they must do. They've got thousands of computers.
Absolutely, they're just slave...
Trying to work it out 24 hours a day.
And presumably we're attempting in our own befuddled way to do the same.
If we've got a ZX80 on it 24/7.
Except when Wimbledon's on.
Yeah, we've got a crow that can get a tiny bucket out of a Perspex tube. Take that, China.
An Englishman and a Frenchman were drilling a tunnel under the channel. Who made sure they met in the middle?
They all really dress.
Right. The Frenchman is called Philippe Creuset, and the Englishman is called Graham Fagg. And they did meet in the middle. I mean, they were like just like 300-odd millimetres out. I mean, it was extraordinary how accurate it was. But what would they use to know exactly
sonar,
where
I would imagine.
Shouting? Sonar. Not shouting, no.
Just...
We are here! Oh, we've gone past you! We've gone past you!
That's the worry.
Coming back!
So then they would just say, no, it's 2 tunnels. One
Yeah.
We'll keep going, we'll keep going.
Have you read Birdsong by Sebastian
Indeed,
Faulks?
yes.
It's all about tunnelling.
The saps, yeah.
It's a brilliant book. But they would tunnel underneath the enemy trenches, plant explosives, and then... But, of course, the other side were doing the same thing, so they would be... It's a brilliant novel. They're in the tunnel, and everyone has to be completely quiet, and they can hear the Germans tunnelling.
Yeah.
And they... Are they going to let their bomb off? Are we going to let our bomb off? I can't... See how quiet it's gone? That's how good the book is.
Yeah.
I'm not going to tell you what happens.
Yeah.
But it's really good.
It is.
Be a Scot, be an engineer.
It wasn't a Scot, I'm
come
afraid
on,
to say.
it
You'd
must have
think
been.
it would be.
Well, is that Superman up the top there?
It is Superman.
Well spotted.
Yeah, what's going on?
Yeah. They were told to wear high-visibility clothing, and he did.
Yeah. No, he came straight from a party the night before.
I think he did. Obviously, it was some celebration there.
That machine that they used, they had it at the side of the motorway for ages after they'd finished the tunnel. It had a large sign on the side of it, just said, "One careful owner."
The French rather sweetly gave them names. Brigitte, Europa, Catherine, Virginie, Pascaline and Séverine, and they, after the tunnel, they dismantled them and rebuilt them and, you know, kept them. And the British didn't give them names, rather dully, and they made the machines burrow themselves into the ground where they just left them.
Oh, says it all, doesn't it?
Oh.
I'm ashamed.
Oh.
I'm faintly ashamed.
So who did get them to meet in the middle?
A German invented a machine to do it. And the machine is called a gyrotheodolite, because the problem is you can't know where you are underground because you can't use a compass because of the magnetic ore in...
Or GPS.
Or GPS, because you haven't got line of sight, obviously, with the...
Turn left.
Yeah. So it uses big gyrotheodolite...
U-turn where possible.
When possible.
Yes.
Please do a U-turn.
You are under the sea.
Yeah. But no, it was, what would a gyrotheodolite use to find out where you are or where north is? So gyro means...
Revolving.
Revolving. It's the rotation of the Earth.
Ah.
Feels that. So it can work out where north is.
Oh, why don't you just ask Superman?
Yeah, you just ask Superman, who has a little place in the
the fact that
North
Superman's
Pole.
got a hard hat. Come on, you're the Man of Steel. Not too careful.
Yeah. So it was a German invention. His name was Max Schuler.
So they had one at each... What, the French had one of these machines and the British had one of these
They
machines?
didn't meet halfway, however. Who had got furthest, the French or the English?
Oh, the English, surely.
No, we got furthest.
It was the French, because the English were wandering about disposing of the earth out the bottom of their trousers. Making sure nobody could see. Just past the guy vaulting the horse, we'll be fine, come on.
We got further.
Yes, but not because the French were lazy and work-shy.
Well, they were talking to their machines, weren't they?
Or
My
because
beautiful machine.
They had geological difficulties their end.
Oh, we are
supposedly.
experiencing geological difficulties at the moment, mon petit cher, but soon we'll all be good. No, they're giving their names.
Let's see English do the work.
Yeah. Remind me, Stephen, of the German who made, what was it, a gyroscopic theodolite?
Yes.
Because I've got to say, a brilliant invention, but not a huge market.
No, you're right. That's unfortunately true. There's just not enough tunnels being built there.
They have sold two.
Yeah.
All going very well.
Yeah.
We were hoping for sales of one, but they're selling two.
There was a man called Colonel Barrog who could have used it in India when they were doing a tunnel for the railway there, and they missed, and he went home and shot himself. He was so ashamed.
Did he hit?
Yeah. Now, if I could be serious for a moment, more than 100 million people were killed in wars during the 20th century, and the total number of people ever killed by wars could be as many as 1 billion. Einstein described war as a cloak that covers acts of murder, and Antoine de Saint-Exupéry called it a disease like typhus. With all that in mind, here is my question to you. Why did Hitler have such a silly moustache?
Thank God for that. I thought I was on the wrong show for a minute. Well, very serious.
I'm sure you'd agree with my description of war there, wouldn't you?
I would absolutely. This is a difficult show for me to be on because I'm a Quaker pacifist. So I'm not an ideal person.
Were you born a Quaker?
No, I wasn't. I was a Quaker by convincement, as they call it.
Is that what it's called?
Yeah.
And because my family, the Fry family, were very early Quakers.
Of course they were. Of course they were.
It's a very admirable thing, and the pacifism is taken very seriously, isn't it?
Yeah.
Well, it's a lovely thing until Hitler comes along, and then it's not much use.
Well, if we'd have done something about it before Hitler came along, then maybe it would
Shaved his moustache
And I
off.
think the reason he had that moustache is he was probably a fan of Oliver Hardy.
Ah, well, it's certainly true that they were popular in the 20s and increasingly in the 30s. Well, Charlie Chaplin, of course, is best known. But supposedly Hitler changed from what was a relatively bushy moustache. You may have seen a famous photograph of him as a Gefreiter, a corporal in the First World War. There he is on the left. But there are a couple of stories. No one's quite sure which is true. There was a fellow who served with him, Alexander Moritz Fry, great-uncle Alexander. He was in the same regiment in the First World War as Hitler, and he said that Hitler trimmed it into the familiar toothbrush in order to fit into the gas mask properly.
Oh.
Fry's account is controversial, apparently. He went on to become a satirist and fantasy novelist, starting a family tradition.
Here's the point about Hitler. He's judged very harshly by history, but he did kill Hitler.
I can't take that away from you, Jimmy.
Credit when credit is due.
That's true. Some historians believe that Hitler only adopted the tash in 1919, and his sister-in-law, who lived in Liverpool, well, she had one as well. She may have done. Do you know what her name was?
Muriel.
Almost, as it were.
Gauss Adolf.
Bridget Hitler.
Bridget Hitler.
Yeah, that was her name. Bridget Hitler.
Bridget Hitler?
Yeah. Yes, she was married to Alois Jr., who was Hitler's half-brother. And they had a son, William Patrick Hitler.
Billy Hitler.
William Patrick Hitler went to America and won a Purple Heart in the Navy.
Changed his name, I presume.
Eventually, to Stuart Houston, I think. And he claimed he wanted to forget anything to do with his uncle, but he named his first son Alexander Adolf Stuart Houston. Anyway, yes, Bridget, in her memoir, said that he came to visit Liverpool and that she told him that he should trim the ends of his moustache to make it less bushy. But, as she put it, as in most things, he went too far.